Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Astrology Table for Two.
And there's always a third chair for you.
Oh, if I don't break it. Brought to you by, what is it? How's that pronounced? Postoles?
Principio de los Apóstoles.
Oh, exactly. That's what I said. Exactly like that.
Well, on that note, this is Rachel.
And this is Jordan.
And welcome to Astrology Table for Two.
Where there's always an extra chair for you.
Of course. And now, especially because we're talking a new moon in Gemini that's happening on the 6th of June at 10:23 p.m. Central Daylight Time at 16 degrees of Gemini. So right there in the middle. And Gemini is Mercury's mutable air sign. And truth be told, the moon has no essential dignity or debility here. So it's kind of just doing its own thing.
It's kind of chilling. I feel like that's been the theme of Gemini season. Everybody's just doing their thing so far. And we have a lot of stuff going on in Gemini too, like we talked about last week.
Right. And to that point, this new moon, the main feature of it is that it is happening conjunct to Venus to the degree. So we've got Venus in Gemini, the moon in Gemini, and the moon is new right here. So I feel like I love these new beginnings.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's the curiosity is peaked. I'm having a great time. This has been a fun Gemini season for me so far.
Well, and I feel like this new moon is really going to drive home or internally drive in the point, whatever those points are. Gemini always has more than one. But I feel
and
like
they'll make sure you know.
Oh,
you're going to know all of them.
Yeah, we're going to know literally
whether
everything.
You want to or not.
They don't need permission.
They don't need permission. They're just going to talk to you. Yeah.
Ask forgiveness.
It's kind of it's like embrace being the yapper. It's okay to yap.
And also just to hear yourself talk.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes it works out. That's the Venus conjunction. Like, when you really speak from the heart and you're uninhibited and you're just unabashed and you're just saying what you feel.
Yeah.
And then it kind of hits different.
It's unfiltered. It's raw.
Right. And this raw note that you're sensing, I feel like is actually really indicative of the square that this new moon is making to Saturn at 18 degrees of Pisces. Pisces being the mutable water sign ruled by Jupiter. So it's feeling, it's sensing, and it's a square. So it's tense. There might be a little bit of a raw nerve that one of our conversations strikes around this time. And maybe it is that pouring your heart out or creating your joy. And then you realize that maybe you uncover some latent trauma.
Yeah. Pisces is an incredibly intuitive sign as well.
Yeah. There's
so
a mystical element.
You might uncover some stuff you're not ready for.
Ooh, I like that you're not ready for.
You think you're ready for, but you probably aren't.
The words that I have in the notes are reality check, philosophical dilemma, or a value-based pivot.
Ooh.
You know how sometimes when you encounter both sides of the spectrum, you thought you were decided on your opinion, but then you realize you're not?
Offered something new, a new perspective. Yeah, it's very Gemini.
Yes.
It's you probably will. You're gonna learn something you might not like.
Right. And
Ooh.
your horizons, when broadened, maybe like bring in sort of a new depth of understanding. Like, oh, I was innocent to this. And now like, shit, I'm wise, but also
Yeah.
I'm jaded.
Kind of angry about it. Yeah. Like, and fuck you. Yeah. Like,
There is definitely this, we could get some information or we could receive some information. I'm thinking more like through conversations or through connections or through media.
revelations, things will be revealed.
Right,
Okay.
right. And that Saturn square means that they might not all be easy to take.
Right. But we're still going to do it because of that openness and maybe that curiosity to learn.
Well, and then what is the saying? All press is good press,
Yeah.
right? So this new
You
moon
need
is
it anyway.
this new moon is also trine to the south node at 13 Libra and the north node at 13 Aries. So to me, there's a little bit of a karmic element to this,
Mm-hmm.
or some sort of a these conversations, this information, it's really supposed to come up, to come out,
Right.
to be integrated, and to, I know we all hate this, to change us.
Right. And in that way, balance may be restored for some people.
Ooh,
Who
that's
knows, right? The
very
scales may
fair.
balance
Yeah.
in one
And-
way. Or it might just not be a way that you expect.
Well, and that's interesting because this new moon is conjunct Venus. Venus rules Libra and Taurus, but she is the exaltation ruler of Pisces. So the idea of like, okay, once you get all the information, that anger might become compassion.
Right. Ooh. And it
you
could
might
be
be like, shoot.
oh, maybe compassion for yourself.
Oh man, that
Yeah.
self-compassion with
Yeah.
a new moon. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially with the trine to the north node in Aries. There might be something that we've been pursuing that then we realize like maybe I don't want that.
Right. And that's okay. It's okay to change your mind halfway through.
And I think there is a protective quality that's happening as well because Mercury is in its home sign and Mercury is ruling this moon. So it is at 6 degrees Gemini at the time of this lunation. And like you said, I mean, we can also take in all that new information and then make wiser choices.
Right. Create something new.
And a new paradigm to operate from that maybe is more suited to the actual environment that we're operating within.
More productive, yeah, a little bit maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe we are creating buzz, or maybe we are learning or downloading or sharing or creating. But I feel like this moment in time, there is something really positive we can glean from it. It just might not be the easiest thing to then walk away and continue on with.
Right. And I mean, we all know that's the worst part of change. Change is so exciting, but the process sucks ass.
You know that feeling, right? When you're in an elevator or you're on a ride and that like drop moment where like you're weightless for a second and your heart kind of flutters and you're like, ah!
Even though you know the elevator's just stopping like it always does.
Right, but that weightlessness. I feel like this moon might have that quality of
Okay.
like a little weightlessness.
We're
and then-
unsure. We're floating in the uncertainty a little bit.
But sometimes that can be, speaking to that Venus again, some of the most satisfying time is when like you're in that space of change and you know you can't be undecided forever or in the midst of like the shift forever.
Right.
But you're enjoying like the moment of like, okay, for a minute, I'm not decided.
Yeah. I'm weightless. I'm
Yeah.
neutral. I don't have to put my feet down quite yet. But you know it's not going to last forever.
And that can be both exciting and, speaking to your earlier point, it can be scary.
Yeah, very, because lack of control, right? But there's
Yeah.
excitement in that lack of control.
Novelty has two sides. It can both be super stimulating and thrilling, and also it can be destabilizing.
Yes.
And Gemini is not the most stable sign that we've got.
Right.
I mean, the
Love y'all to
twins.
death.
Yeah.
But
No, but they will make us laugh and they will make us live.
yeah.
I feel like this new moon, especially right around that time, I think that there is a huge opportunity for like a little bit of, what's the word? Lightness. There's been some kind of intense astrology. And I say intense. When everything's in Taurus, it's not like, it might be chill, but it's not relaxed.
It's like the senses are heightened almost.
Ooh,
Right?
I
In
like
a way,
that.
because you're indulging in the senses, right? But it's almost like
You're deep in them.
it can be overstimulating
Dude.
in moments, of your hedonism, whatever you partake in.
I
But
feel like Gemini shares that overstimulation.
in their own unique special, intense way.
But it thrives.
It does. It thrives. And it's energetic, very energetic. Like it energizes you, but it can be a lot sometimes.
Well, and I think there is the potential with this new moon too to feel internally that kind of chaos and to be like, oh my God, I'm so excited, but I'm so scared, but I'm so like,
I'm out of control, but what does this offer me? What is this bringing me?
But my feet can't be on the ground. There's like, I'm already on the ride. I'm already strapped in. We're already going up the lift.
It's too late now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But there might be some, what's the word? I feel like there might be some really important people that we meet or opinions that we get, the connections that we make. I mean, Gemini is an air sign. And with these relationships with the nodes of the moon, like there could be somebody who comes into your life that totally shakes it up for the better.
Right.
Even if that's not like the simplest thing to integrate into your regularly established programming.
Right. It might be a little challenging.
Yeah.
But Geminis kind of float through challenges almost effortlessly, it seems. Maybe it's because they are so charming, like those Libras.
Well, speaking
that Gemini charm
of charming Libra, Venus ruled stuff, one of the other challenging things that's happening, and this is our first top transit. I guess we should break though.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
Oh,
but we don't have
hang on to the edge of your
often.
seats.
We don't.
Yeah.
So we will take a break for a word from potential sponsors.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I'll talk about my struggle bus, Mars and Taurus. Now we're back.
Hello.
With Mars in Taurus. So Mars is entering Taurus on Saturday, June 8th at 11:32 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And this is our struggle aspect. Mars does not do well in Taurus.
Okay, I was curious about that transit. I don't know a lot about that planet and that placement together.
So Mars is in its detriment, which creates difficulty in Taurus because Taurus is fixed Earth and Mars is our principle of movement. So those two things don't really work as well together, though Mars is a triplicity ruler of Earth signs. So there is a little bit of ability that's in there. And Mars and Taurus, I think about it like this. So Taurus is the second sign in the zodiac, fixed Earth, ruled by Venus, represented by the bull. Making a bull move or stopping a bull from moving.
Is it hard?
Both very difficult. I mean, we literally have like bullfighting arts, running with bulls. Like running with bulls in Spain is probably the best way that I can think of Mars and Taurus.
Oh my God. That's an excellent analogy for that, actually.
And like, it's probably boring until it's really not.
Right.
You're just with a throng of people
buck
until you're
wild,
like, oh
probably.
my Lord.
Yeah. How did I get in this situation?
Right. Because one quality of Taurus and of the bull and, in general, of the heart is that it can be stubborn. It can be averse to change. Like Taurus likes the things it's always liked.
Yeah.
It decides like, I love this. And then like, that's what I love.
And Mars is pretty aggressive.
Right. And it's about severing. It's about changing. It's about moving and doing. So
regardless of how you feel.
Dude. And with Mars being in Taurus, we've had Jupiter in Taurus up until recently. And it was kind of chilling things out, stabilizing stuff. And now we're going to have Mars and Uranus. And that's going to be it in Taurus.
Wow.
And that's like pretty intense. Like there's going to be a lot of stuff shaking up and changing, moving.
It's kind of like is it like an abrupt kind of stop?
It can
in a
be.
way. It can feel that way maybe if you've been going.
Like you're totally right. So Mars and Taurus is like that inertia principle.
Yeah.
Like getting started
slamming
is
on the
super
brakes.
hard.
Yeah.
And getting stopped is hard too. Like an object in motion will stay in motion until.
Right. Yeah. Until it won't.
Exactly. But that makes this transit a good time for slowing down. For being patient.
Forcing us to kind of embrace the slowness, the stillness a little bit.
I'm curious about how this is going to roll with Gemini season. I really am
curious.
Because
the energy is like opposite. That's very curious about that.
Well, Venus and Gemini will also be ruling this Mars and Taurus.
Right.
So it will have a little bit more of that social flavor.
Right.
I think it'll be really good for us to do physical projects. Mars and Taurus likes a tangible material result.
Okay.
So if you want to like make a garden, you don't have one. If you have one, that's too easy. Mars and Taurus wants to like slowly plan and create the garden and like,
Right.
at the end of
Meticulous.
yes,
But
methodical.
intentionally, yes, very methodical.
And it's also something that I think is going to bring in inevitably some tension in relationships.
Okay. And I wonder too, do you think this would be with Gemini and with Taurus? Is this maybe us having to learn a new perspective on nurturing?
Ooh,
Maybe.
I like that.
Right? Like maybe one we're not, we've never approached nurturing in that way, and it could be jarring and strange, but
Oh, yes.
You
Like
know-
nourishment as something that we don't usually like not wanting to take our medicine.
right. But realizing you fucking have to feel better.
So that spoonful of sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mars and Taurus, and I think Venus and Gemini can agree on a spoonful of sugar.
That's true. It's a little bit indulgent.
Right. But it's also like, so you have to take your medicine.
Yeah.
But we're going to make it be the best or most satisfying.
Right. Because Gemini doesn't want to slow down. They're like, take this medicine. I want to feel better. I want to get going again.
And I think between the two, the big bridge that I see is the creativity. So like making art, any kind of that
Ooh.
sort of aesthetic pursuit. Like Venus and Gemini, I think she likes aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Our
And
girl
Mars
loves
and
aesthetic.
Taurus is like, let me sculpt that,
Right.
clay.
Let me work on this for you.
let me work that wood.
Right. There will be a reward. It will be rewarding.
Rewarding is the best way, I
Right.
think, of saying that. Like it might be a little bit, what's the word? Hard to get started.
Yeah. Hard labor.
Hard work.
On the soul. Yeah. On the mind.
Mars and Taurus is hard work, but it also represents, I think, practice.
Mm-hmm.
And so if Venus and Gemini picks up a new hobby and she's
Oh.
like, oh my God, we want to be a
Oh my
basket
God.
weaver.
Yeah. Perhaps discipline.
Yes.
Yeah. Patience and discipline.
Oh, girl.
Oof.
And nobody like loves that,
No. The Gemini doesn't.
but it's what
No
creates
offense.
those
But-
results of devotion.
Right. As a Sagittarian, I don't like discipline and patience. You think I enjoy drawing and not seeing the end result yet?
I think they can agree though on like the joy in the process.
True.
Like Venus and Gemini, I think she wants instant gratification. But like if it's fun, like if we take the scenic route and we're like, oh, wildflowers.
Right.
Oh, let's stop
The nostalgia.
here. Oh,
yeah,
let's do-
the intrigue, seeing new
Intrigue.
sights, seeing new sound, hearing new sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking in the nature around you. Yeah, that's a good way to look at that.
But I think also that there needs to be a goal orientation to our major efforts because Taurus wants like that satisfying, final, stable end. And so it's like, what are we working towards? Mars and Taurus, if it can see the end or like, when that bull can see that red flag,
Right.
it's like, that's it. That's where I'm going.
That's it.
That's why I'm getting started. Also financial planning because Gemini might be spending money like crazy.
Oh, I have, it's summer. Come on.
Yeah, that's what Gemini says. And Mars and Taurus is like, but let's make sure that we have for the winter.
Right, but you don't want a margarita? Maybe 2, maybe 3 right now?
It's like, yeah, but we have a budget
Yeah, true.
for
Fine.
our own well-being. Like you said, a different approach to
right.
nourishment and
The
nurturance.
future selves will appreciate it.
So I think especially if we
Yes.
have not done that before, like if you're a Virgo, you're like, bitch, I have a financial plan.
You're like, what the fuck are you talking
Yeah.
about?
No, for you, it's just like taking it slowly, maybe working through it, maybe, amending the things that need to be amended given the forecast for the harvest or whatever.
Right.
Virgo, we're not talking to you.
Yeah.
You already have the
Calm
qualities
down.
of earth and mutability. You're good.
You're good. You're okay.
Yeah. But everybody else, I think that having a plan is going to be great when you have a major undertaking here.
Mm.
Because Mars and Taurus needs a path. It's not going to like drive one.
Right. And Gemini's just kind of skip the path. Like literally skip. Like
we're
go
floating
skipping.
above the path.
Yeah. Skipping, getting air down the path.
I love that. I love that. So that's skipping, but like slow it down and make it like exercise. And Mars and Taurus is like, fine.
All right.
This is
fine.
part
I'll
of our
fucking do
fitness
it.
program.
Yeah, I'll fucking do it. It's good for the body. I'll feel better.
High knees.
Yeah. High knees.
Speaking of the caretaking and the physical regimens and the nourishment, we're introducing our second transit, which is Venus entering Cancer on Monday, June 17th at 1 a.m. or 1:18 a.m., Central Daylight Time. So middle of the night, Venus enters Cancer, fourth sign in the zodiac, cardinal water sign ruled by the moon. How are you feeling about Venus in Cancer?
I was going to say, speaking of nurturing,
Yeah,
that's what that makes me think of.
Totally. Nourishment, healing, protection, family.
But Cancer to me is oddly, I'm trying to word this in a way that doesn't sound like I'm coming for Cancers, because I personally love Cancers. 2 of my best friends are Cancer suns.
Let it be known you have a Mars in Cancer.
All right, that too. Don't just put all my information out there like that, Rachel.
I won't.
But Cancers can be quite, I don't think aggressive is the right word. Maybe protective is a very, very loyal, very protective. I would say they're the feistiest water sign, in my personal opinion.
Well, they are making investments, and like Scorpio is highly strategic about these investments and very private. Pisces is boundaryless and like, I want to invest in everyone.
Everyone deserves a chance.
And Cancer's like, no, it's me and mine.
Yeah, no, I will take care of my own. And Cancers are very, from my observations, just very almost justice oriented, very fair minded, very. I don't get sad, I get mad.
They're like the natural order.
Right. And if something upsets them, they don't get sad, they get mad, and they like do something about it.
So in the natural world, think about it. Some of the craziest things, like if you come across animals, pretty much the roughest place to be is between a mother predator and her young.
Yes. Yeah.
And her young.
Yeah.
It's like harder to be that, like threatening her young, than to be her prey. Like she'll
Literally.
be more aggressive with you there. And that to me is totally that Cancer
Yes. Okay.
fire that you're talking about.
Right.
Well, it's not fire. Cancer ice. I don't know.
Maybe it is icy in a way. Hurts to the touch. It can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That burning of the cold water.
Yeah.
They take no chances with family.
No.
And I think Venus is here though to, I think, bring the other side of that, which
Right.
is like
Yeah.
the mothering.
I kind of went the opposite direction there, but
Mars and Cancer.
yeah.
No way. No way.
Maybe that's the only side of Cancer I know. Like
Personally,
maybe.
Heard. Well, so one great thing about this is that Venus is a triplicity ruler of water signs, and she does have both her own bound and her own decan in Cancer. So there will be some sweet spots, particularly the first 10 degrees of Cancer, that first decan which she rules. So as soon as Venus enters Cancer on the 17th, she'll have, I think, a little bit more power than she had in Gemini.
Okay.
And maybe she will bring us 2 more things that are really good for us.
Yeah. Oh, like a little, here you go, babe.
Here. Eat well.
Here, have this joint and this glass of Prosecco.
I feel like Gemini would like them both.
Yeah, you're right.
Gemini would like them both, but Cancer would be like, but make sure you get to bed by 10 p.m.
You do have a curfew. Remember, you have to get up early tomorrow.
And even forget the curfew. You need to be well rested. You have a performance in the morning.
Yes. You know you're going to do great regardless, love. But just get some sleep.
And given that it's summer and that Venus is in Cancer, I say enjoy all the water sports, the water, bodies of water.
I will. Don't you worry.
Water parks, just like all the water. Cancer, and especially Venus in Cancer, is renewed and restored and rejuvenated by contact with, especially pleasurable contact with, the water. So
almost like maybe a joint and a nice bath.
Yes,
Before
I was just
bed.
thinking.
Yeah, before bed.
A bubble bath.
With some maybe Epsom salt and candles and incense.
And especially at least for the first few days of Venus in Cancer, the sun will still be in Gemini. The sun will follow soon. But when the sun's in Gemini and Venus is in Cancer, the bubble bath and the glass of Prosecco, that feels completely right.
Yes,
the bubbles and the water.
But yeah, remember your boundaries. Remember only one glass and make sure you go to bed and get some rest.
Venus in Cancer also wants to make sure that you're hydrated. So make sure you alternate the glass of Prosecco and the glass of water.
Don't fuck that up.
Yeah.
Because you will be hungover the next morning. You know yourself. Why are you not taking care of yourself?
Well, and Venus in Cancer wants to also be able to show up for the children, the family, and God forbid we are not in any condition to do that. That's very non-Venus in Cancer.
How dare you?
Gemini's Gemini's like, what kids?
What do you mean? I'm child free. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're bohemian.
Yeah. What?
We're fine.
Yeah.
This is the way we live.
Yeah.
And Venus in Cancer is like, girl, all children need to be fed,
Right.
need to be watered, and need to be like
the earth is my
slept.
children. Everyone on earth is my child.
Well, and every Cancer, we all know a Cancer who like mothers or fathers, like everybody in the group, and like takes care of everyone.
Oh, and such a protective. That's just the word I think of with Cancers. That's kind of because they're not aggressive. They think they can be.
They
but-
they won't leave anyone behind.
Right. Right. And it's what makes it so genuine is it comes from a real place of love.
Yeah, they
You
enjoy
know,
that
they
caretaking.
love it. Yeah. And
But
it's not in a manipulative way.
It's also an investment, and I think that's one of the things that Cancer, to our earlier conversation, protects.
Mhm.
Because like if Cancer chooses to love you, Venus and Cancer, like they better get results.
Yeah, like it's
They like, you're my friend.
it's not a
so
free investment.
If
Yeah,
you're my
like,
friend, you also
you
like,
will love me back just as hard. And if you don't, there's going to be a
That's-
fucking problem.
that's what they want.
Yes.
And they
and
want
it's so
the
easy
same
to
care
love
they
them,
offer.
though. It's so easy to love them, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
They're such-
Cancers are the sweethearts.
Yes, they're such lovers.
But they also, just don't forget, Cancer is ruled by the moon. So Venus in Cancer and any Cancer placements that are out there happening or about to happen, they will be influenced by the lunar cycle. So when
Okay.
it's a full moon, Venus in Cancer is a lot more prone to like go out and have 4 Prosecco's.
Oh, ooh.
When it's a new moon, Venus in Cancer is like, nope,
No.
staying in.
Yeah, I'm staying in. I will
Quiet
be
time.
by myself in the bath
Yeah.
with my joint.
No, more like my tea.
Oh, ooh, my herbal tea
Yeah.
and my water. Yeah, no, we're not pushing it. We're
Yeah,
just doing
no.
water. Yeah.
It's a new moon here. We're
Maybe a
quiet.
sparkling water, but no, we're just doing water. Yeah.
Speaking of more water, our third transit coming up, the sun will enter Cancer and
Ooh.
inaugurate the summer solstice on Thursday, June 20th at 3:49 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We all love a good solstice.
Longest day of the year.
Yeah.
I love it. I personally love when the sun is out
the most
all
light.
day. Yes, I don't mind darkness, and I love the evening. I love dusk, but I love the sun. It just rejuvenates me.
And I mean, we all need that vitamin D,
Mhm.
right? The sun will be in Cancer until July 22nd. So we've got a month of this Cancer sun, meaning all the things we were just talking about with Venus in Cancer, like underscore. That's like what's good for us.
Okay.
Prioritize family, internal growth, emotional intelligence, like cultivating, gardening. If you're
Yeah.
a gardener, like this is a gardening transit.
Radiate like the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, to those around you. Absorb that energy and put it into the things you love.
Right, and care for people.
Yes.
One of the things that I love with Cancers, every Cancer I know is an excellent chef.
Oh my God. You're right.
They're great at cooking.
Same with Taurus. That's
Taurus
just
is good
that-
at eating.
Okay, well, I mean, but
We're Epicureans. We might not get the mechanics of it. Cancer like can physically transform the food.
that's like it's like a magical experience almost, I feel like. With
yeah.
them.
And there is a movie.
A labor of love.
Yes. There is a movie called El Amor como Chocolate. And I think that one of the best things about the movie is that it's a Spanish language film, but basically this woman, she cooks and all of her emotions go into her food. So when she's super
Oh.
happy, then she cooks food and everyone's happy. But when she's sad, she'll cook food and everyone will be
Oh
sad.
my gosh. That's an actual Cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And she must be.
That makes so much sense now.
Especially the lunar thing. Like, you know, I'm up, I'm down. Like,
Yeah.
the moon is never just one thing. It waxes and it wanes.
Yeah, it
so
changes constantly.
That's why people call Cancers moody.
Oh, I think they're just kind of misunderstood. I don't think they're moody.
Well, it's just their natural rhythm.
Yeah, they
and they're
can't-
adhering
yeah.
to it.
But they express themselves. I feel like they're so honest and open with their emotions when they're upset. And I don't know, I appreciate that a lot.
Well, and that fluctuation of emotion also creates compassion. They have
Mm.
compassion for lots of different people. But it's kind of a cathartic thing too, like to let yourself cry
Yeah.
when you need to.
Oh, yeah, I do that at least once a month.
Yeah.
I sit in my room and I cry. And
Yeah.
that sounds so emo, but I really have to do it. Like I have to release those emotions from my body.
And that's a good point. It is a release, which allows you to renew. So
Mhm.
like now that emotional energy has come up to come out, and now I'm refreshed.
Right.
And now I have a new crying quotient that
Right.
will build up.
It might have to do with my PMS sometimes, but
Very lunar of you.
That's honestly the best time for me to cry all the time.
You cry along with the lunar cycle?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. That is kind of fucking wild. I guess I never realized that.
Dude, Cancer is, to me, it's so wild how connected and how intuitive that they are with those rhythms of nature itself.
Yeah.
They have that water sign intuition, but also Cancer is represented by the crab. And the crab is one of the creatures on Earth that has to both live in the water and on land. So it comes on land to lay its eggs and have its young, and it's in the water to
The
find
duality.
its food. Yeah. There is a duality about it that I don't think Cancer always gets credit for. But if you look at the sign of Cancer, like the actual two, like almost, it looks like a yin yang almost.
Yes.
You know, it has that duality.
That makes so much sense. And it's kind of going from one extreme to the other. Land is so different from water.
Full moon, new moon.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Light and dark.
Yeah. Whew.
And I mean, we will have this apex of light. And when you think about it, the start of Cancer season always inaugurates the summer solstice.
Yes.
And
what a
then
beautiful time.
it is that height, and it goes, you know, then gradually throughout the Cancer season, throughout that month, there is less light and more darkness.
Yes.
So it does also represent that kind of changing and shifting that's always happening within us. But there is something about Cancer, which I feel like engenders, like you're saying you love them, engenders loyalty.
Yes. I value that a lot.
They're loyal, and then you're loyal to
Not
them.
because of my Scorpio moon or anything, but
Never for that Scorpio moon. But all the Cancers that I know, and the people with Cancer suns especially, they have a solid group of people who love them, and they love a solid group of people.
Yeah. And they nurture those people. Ooh, they will take care of those people.
They're very good at stewarding life.
Yeah. It breaks my heart when my Cancer friends are upset, because it's a very, and not to say that there's ever an invalid reason to be upset, but it's like, it's always such a valid reason for them. They're like, I don't understand why this person
do always have valid
right.
reasons.
They're like, I don't
That's so
understand why
true.
this person would do this when I loved them so much and so hard.
And I
And
cared.
it's like, damn, that's a good point. I don't know why they would do that either.
Well, always when it comes to investments, some of them are going to bear fruit and some aren't.
Yeah.
And I think Cancer definitely has an attachment.
Yes. The painful lessons that come with being a Cancer.
Yeah. It's the start. So Cancer is cardinal water, and that's the beginning of water, or the initiation. So it's like they're planting seeds all the time.
Yes.
And that they hope grow into something.
And maybe it's the high expectations that let them down in the end, but they still are going to love you really hard.
Yeah, especially
know?
with Venus in Cancer. Like, I love that during this Cancer season, we've got Venus in Cancer, and she's there until July 11th. So for the majority of the time, there's really going to be like 10, 11 days where she's not there. So it'll be kind of sweet.
Yeah. Aww.
It'll be kind of
Love
sweet.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
just
think
love
that
hard,
take
man.
care.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, take care of others, treat people well.
Maybe try to learn new recipes.
Yeah, dude.
Enjoy cooking.
Yeah.
Have patience in cooking.
Well, like, we could party and like French exit and like ghost people, whatever. Irish exit, not French.
Yeah. Well, I kind of like
Rachel.
that. Let's do French exit now.
I feel like that's a TV girl album. Anyway,
Maybe. I
But,
think
like,
you're right.
like, Gemini just like bounces and like ghosts and, you know, does whatever.
I'm going
is
to do what I
clever.
want. Yeah. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
But Cancer, it's a vibe shift.
Yeah.
And we're going to be
I am.
definitely.
Yeah. I will be upset if you leave my party early. That is very much.
And say goodbye to me.
Yeah.
I'm your friend.
If you leave without saying anything, I will call you 20 times. Because I'm worried about you and I want to make sure you're okay. But two, I'm pissed off that you left my party 10 minutes early without telling me.
That's hilarious.
And that's just from personal experience.
Oh, 100%. Mars and Cancer would know.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever Cancer season happens, that always means as well that we are going to have a full moon in Capricorn. That's our next lunation coming up on June 21st. And the moon is in its detriment in Capricorn. So Cancer season always brings about this difficult moon.
Yes.
And I feel like that's one of, like you said, one of the hazards of caring is that you perform and don't necessarily get the satisfaction or pleasure.
Yeah. Ooh.
And that's very full moon in Capricorn.
Yes.
It's like, but I did everything.
I did everything by the book. What do you mean I'm not getting this outcome?
Right. And
Very strategic.
Well, it's hard to compartmentalize those emotions. But during Cancer season, we're like wearing our heart on our sleeve. And so internally, it's like, okay, well, if I'm wearing my whole inner on the outside, then what's inside?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So look forward to that very soon.
Oh, all right.
This has been the full moon, new moon in Gemini.
Almost full moon.
Gemini would say new full. All right. We'll see you guys next
All
time.
right. Have a good one.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.